Wait, when have I lost my fire? Not very often.
Welcome back to She's Gotta Have Both, the podcast, episode 2. We are already upgraded. We're no longer.
I was going to say that, but I was like, is that corny?
No.
But literally, it's like episode 2 and we're already moving up.
Yes.
Look at us.
The point is to show the growth because we're just doing it imperfect. So you're seeing the progression along the way. You're on the journey with us. But in today's episode, our topic is faith and fierceness, which was almost the name of this podcast.
It's actually true.
It was.
And currently in my email signature.
Is it?
Yeah, for coaching.
I didn't even know that. Oh, yeah. I did know that. So yeah, that was almost the name of this podcast. It actually was named this for a good couple of years, considering we've been at this for 7-8 years, like we talked about last episode.
Yes.
And we're just going to introduce that in this new episode. And so I'll let you introduce what we've prepared for that. This is probably the most in-depth we have prepared for an episode just because it was the name of the podcast. It's something we've thought a lot about.
Right.
And so I really want everyone to hear the fullness of what our thought is behind that and the intention behind it. So I want you to read it verbatim.
Yes. And, obviously it's both. Having both. She's got to have both. She has to have both faith and fierceness. So Here we go. Wish I could have memorized this, but,
it's too important to miss anything. We're just going to read it.
It's important. Faith is the necessary element to living a full life, full of hope, peace, and joy. Fierceness is having the grit and determination to create the life you want. Fierceness is acting on the things that you can control, but faith is the awareness that you cannot control the outcomes. Those belong to God. He's good, and he has good plans. Jeremiah 29:11.
Very good, very good. Both of those things resonate with, I think, both of us. But if you want to share first what you feel like it means to you, obviously we both poured our thoughts into that introduction. But for you personally, what does that mean?
Well, I got a lot of fierceness. So I think for me, this topic is super important because one, let's start with faith. Like faith is the foundation of every single thing in my life. And we shared a same foundation, like growing up in a family that was a Christian home where I believe that our parents taught us to have a relationship with Jesus, not just to like engage with religion. And so faith is the foundation of my life. But I feel like I've wrestled through these two things because I am a person that has a lot of grit and determination. I'm not afraid to take risks, and I can get some stuff done. Like I can make stuff happen. But I think this I make things happen mentality is tricky because really I don't make anything happen. I just like do things. But God makes things happen. And so, yeah, this is something that I tell myself actually all the time. Is like, Brandy, the only thing that you can control is yourself, and you don't ever control the outcome. So I'm responsible for my input into something, but I'm not responsible for like the output, which is very hard because like when you're like kind of perfectionistic and like I care about the things that I do, to kind of surrender like, okay, I did what I could. What happens in the end, God? That's up to you, is a little hard. But at the same time, knowing how big and good God is, there's so much like peace in that though. I think there's a lot of lack of peace that I've had in years past, trying to be so fierce and fiercely pursuing everything and like trying to make stuff happen. That can bring about a chaotic life. So that's like generally speaking, but we can get into the weeds later.
That's good. So we talked about the faith and the fierceness, but switching kind of specifically to fierceness, when is the time that you lost your fierceness and how did that impact your life?
Okay, so this is a good question. This takes me back to my first career.
Okay.
which was as an educator, as a teacher. And you know, because you were there. Okay.
I was
So
there.
I was, the quick backstory is that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do after college. I had multiple things I wanted to do. And so I chose the teaching career. I was very excited about the ability to be able to pour into kids, to help them. I just, I love helping and supporting people. So I was pumped. I was ready to go. Like straight out of college, I got a job and was like, let's do this. Let's, train these kids up. I wasn't excited to teach math, but everything else I was excited about. And for me, it was always not subject specific, right? It was about like helping transform their lives. And so I prayed to God, like, let me work with like kids that are at risk and struggling. And I was able to do that. And that was awesome. And then about year 2.5, I was like, ready to be done. People would always ask me like, what was it about teaching that just was so stressful or bothered you or whatever? And I always said the 3 P's. It was the paperwork, the parents, and the politics. I was like, I just couldn't do it. The hierarchy of all the things, the paperwork was unending, like till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was grading papers, and the parents were very uninvolved, the parents that I was dealing with in their kids' lives. So that felt like the burden was only on me.
And you love to teach. Like, that's really who you are in all aspects. So it makes sense that it wasn't the teaching specifically, but just the things surrounding it.
100%. I'll teach anything. I'll teach a wall. Hey, come here. Let me show you how to get painted.
She's always trying to teach me something.
You need to learn.
I actually was listening to or watching a video. Something popped up in my memories. And it was like a video that I think I was taking of myself, like a selfie back when the Snapchat filters and stuff. You're in the back. In the background of the video, teaching something. You're talking, you're like, yeah, and the subject, you need to be doing this, like about eating something. And I was cracking up.
Who was I talking to?
Like mom or something. We were all in the car or whatever, and I'm just like, la-di-da, and I just hear you. So yeah, and then if you get on the such and such. So this is a teacher through and through, but continue, please.
I've been doing it honest since day one. But so anyway, so losing my fierceness. I mean, I fiercely do everything. Let's be real. Like, I don't do anything half. I'm either 100% or I'm out. Wow. And so I was all in with my students, and I was working hard and working late and working too much, which that's another thing for another day. Boundaries. But the day I lost my fierceness and realized I literally can't do this anymore. So 2.5 years in, I was like, going back to where we started. And then God literally told me, like, stay in this job for another, like, he's like, you got another 2 years. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Woo, I've been there.
Last. I cannot last. But I literally remember him telling me that, like, no, there's some things you need to learn. Talking about teaching somebody. And sure enough, there was a lot of character shaping that happened. But then I had reached the end. And the end, there's a symbol that signifies what the end was. And it's a big fat garbage bag full of papers that I was supposed to grade that I legit threw in a dumpster. Okay?
Yes, I was
legit threw. Were you there when I did it?
I thought so. Wasn't that when we were emptying out your car? And you were just like, throw it out.
I don't know. I think I did this by myself.
Oh, well, we threw a lot of things out.
Anyway.
I thought they were papers that needed to be graded.
I knew at that moment, because that was like, okay, this is a lack of integrity now. Like, we're throwing stuff out that we're supposed to be doing. Like, this is wild.
That is bad. Then that's not your typical. That's not
that is not, like, I'm a person of integrity. I don't play that. So it was not typical for me, and it was not the right thing to do. Let's be real. But that was the moment I realized, like, I'm gassed out. I just didn't have any more grit. I had no more determination to continue doing what I was doing. I was exhausted and I was done. And it wasn't just, I can't blame it all on the profession. I think sometimes when you lose determination, you have to take a hard look at yourself. Like, what role did I play in my fire basically going out? And the role that I played was my boundaries were lacking. And I was trying to be the parent and the counselor and the teacher to my kids and the everything to everybody. It was just,
do you feel like, with thinking about your faith, do you feel like you were having faith for God to do the rest, or you feel like you were trying to do everything?
I was definitely trying to do everything. I was obedient in the sense that I stayed at the job. But outside of that, I was like, I got this. I'm teacher of the year. Give me my cape and let me roll. Like it was, I mean, I was praying to God about some of the kids were having some really hard like life circumstances. So I would invite God into parts of what I was doing. But I really like was trying to solve everything myself.
And I think that's why the balance is so important. The faith and the fierceness. It's like we have to start with the faith, and then if it's something God told us to do, then we should do it fiercely.
Yes.
But trying to do it just based on our own merit or our own intensity or our own will to get things done, I think is what typically derails us, or at least speaking for myself. Because then we just kind of can go, we're so intense, we're like, I'm doing this, and we're just probably not even checking in to figure out like, what is God even saying? Is this something that he even asked me to do?
Literally
so
that.
Not to over spiritualize everything, because
everything is spiritual though.
Everything
it's
is
not
spiritual.
Even over spiritualizing it.
But it's like fiercely go get your groceries or something. Like I'm sure
that's true.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be like, God, is this something I'm supposed to do? It's like, yes, he already told us we need to nourish our bodies.
Yeah. Well, that's just like, have common sense.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was wild. That was yeah.
I think the lesson in it, though, just from the outside perspective, because I was there when, regardless if it was the papers or not, you were throwing out everything. Like, I happened to be in Michigan at that time because I was not living there.
That was when you were there. That was my last day.
I was there. Oh, so you threw the papers out before it was your last day?
Of course. Absolutely. I had grades due. I was like, I'm not grading these. It's 500 papers. I'm not grading 500 papers. I'll be up till 5 in the morning. It's not happening.
How long was that? Like, how long between that point and when you quit?
I don't remember. I blacked out.
Did you know you were quitting like that week or no?
Can't remember. Wow. I blacked out. It was a lapse in integrity.
Well,
kids, I'm sorry. They're all sick. I don't know what all of them are doing, but some of my kids I still keep up with.
Yeah.
And they're great. It's amazing.
Well, I was there on the last day. And I will say that if you would have seen this woman right here, you would have thought she was never going to teach another thing in her life. She was so done. It was literally like one of them cartoons where they're just in the car, like throwing everything out the window. Oh, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, take this. It's got to go. I'm like, you don't even want this? These are school supplies. They could be reused. Nope. Put them in the garbage. She was done. But I will say that the good thing is that didn't stop you from continuing to teach. Which we'll probably in another time talk about, more of how teaching transitioned for you. So I think as an encouragement, if you have gone too deep into, being overly fierce or just going down the rabbit hole of doing and just using your own strength to do something, you can still recover and not necessarily throw out the entire thing. And still be in purpose, because I do believe that that's part of your purpose is to teach.
It is.
And so, hitting the reset button and going back to God and just being like, okay, what do I need to do next?
100%. Yeah, it's a good lesson because you don't just jump ship and just abandon it all.
Yeah, I was
sometimes
like,
you do need to abandon it all, but that one was a little.
If it's a part of your purpose,
right?
Just because it didn't go right. And I've experienced that for sure. I've had so many things that were like a closed chapter, but it evolved in a different way. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
well,
it's hilarious.
And the words that come to mind, right, are, which people overuse these phrases, but I mean, they really do illustrate a thing. Like thriving over surviving. Like when I think of fierceness, I was surviving. Like if you feel like you're surviving, that probably means you're not dependent enough on God, or you're not even dependent enough on other people. Like we don't get anywhere completely alone or on our own. Like it always takes community. And so, I look at the difference. If you really are operating in faith and fierceness simultaneously, then it's going to look like thriving. It won't look like surviving.
Right. Which is why you need both. You need the balance of both. And in anything, balance is difficult
Yes.
to have, but you need fierceness, you need faith. And if you feel yourself leaning in one direction, if you're going to lean on anything, then lean on your faith.
Hello?
Try not to lean on just the fierceness, because then that's how we get caught up in just, requiring for ourselves to hold up ourselves.
100%.
And
And
that's how
that
you
doesn't
reach
work.
burnout. Exactly.
Hello? I've been there. Okay, I've been to burnout seminars. I've been burnt out myself. Yeah, it's real. That'll be for a different episode too, because truly part of my lesson in a longer span journey with all of that was like workaholism
Mm-hmm.
was something I had to overcome. And I think any ism means you're trying to be self-reliant completely, and no one can be completely self-reliant. It's just
Yeah,
not possible. Again,
100%.
we're not just, I mean, God obviously is the first thing we need to be relying on, who he is, but also people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to ask for help, and
Yeah.
you have to trust people enough to be a part of your journey and things like that. So
Yeah, I know I experienced that in one of the first major jobs I had. In the beginning, I really didn't know anything, and I was very reliant on it. Was very new. It totally happened in a way that was beyond my control. So it was definitely a God thing. And I was relying on other people to teach me. Um I was relying on God literally every day. I remember being out at work events and, having my own trailer that I was in, and at times feeling like I didn't know what I was doing, or feeling like I didn't have the just to just go and do it myself, because I was so tired and I was working a million hours a week and I was working on the weekends and all this other stuff. And I would just be like, Lord, please, I need you to just come on in and help me do whatever I need to do. And those were the best times. And then as I got into a routine and I knew more of what I was doing, and I became more, confident in what I was doing, it wasn't like I was very grateful and I knew that I didn't get there on my own, but I just started operating in my intensity and my fierceness, for the sake of this episode. Uh, and it led to burnout very quickly, very, very quickly. It just led to, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I went from, this is a place that I feel like God has placed me, which I think is also for seasons, into like, why am I here? This is horrible for me. I am spent. Literally, I am completely spent. And then at that point, the fierceness, boop, plummets as well. So then I had nothing.
that's so true, because when you're burnt out, there's no grit, there's no
No,
determination.
yeah, exactly.
You have nothing left.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that so much of what we see and hear is about, having grit, no sleep, all that, which
Hustle
I'm guilty.
hard.
Yeah, hustle culture. Some of that is shifting, I think now.
It is. People are like, I'm quitting my job tomorrow.
Yeah, soft life, which I'm all about. We're not into the hard life, okay? So I do think that people are actually starting to shift more towards faith, which is amazing.
It is, actually.
We're seeing a lot of that.
No, it's happening.
Like, it is happening.
Time. There's a wave of like just people accepting Jesus, and
yes, and leaning into that, because I think they're seeing and feeling the void that comes with trying to do everything out of grit. But what I don't think is being talked about is having both.
Right.
I personally am not hearing that narrative. It's like when things are one way for a long time, then there's like a need for an overcorrection and it swings the other way.
So true. That's exactly
right. And you're seeing just, now it's like everything is faith, and totally leaning on faith, to the point where people are like, I'm not gonna move, God, until you tell me exactly what to do.
And that's, that is crazy, because that's like, do we need to ask God to go to the grocery store kind of thing? Back to that statement. Like, come on, people. Use common sense. Because the thing is when we're being reliant on God, we're also using the God-given wiring, intelligence, giftings. That's also operating in faith, is using what he's already given us to make common sense decisions. So I think people, like you said, the pendulum swings way far. And we're talking about rooted, grounded faith, not like, I'm just hanging on a wing in a prayer. It's like, okay, and what are you doing today?
Right. Well, one of my favorite things, and I feel like I say this all the time, but I feel like I've said it before, but luckily, since we have not actually done the podcast, I probably
Maybe
haven't.
we should do a snap or flashback to the.
Right.
Okay.
But when our dad
Mm-hmm.
hit me with this revelation a long time ago when we were really young, how people
What?
are always like, well, I'm waiting on the Lord, wait on the Lord. And he was like, well, the word actually means wait, as in serve, which means you are doing. You're serving the Lord. Wait, like
Yes.
wait on someone hand and foot. And so it's a scripture that people
Mm-hmm.
often misuse for having faith
Yep.
and waiting for God to tell them how to move. And I feel like, like you just said, basically, He's equipped us with certain skills and He wants us to utilize that. And while we are waiting, per se, we should be serving, we should be
Mm-hmm.
doing. And I think God blesses us when we do that. So just having that balance is definitely what's key.
Yeah, I agree. Fierceness is just not enough. Like, we need our faith to really become our most dynamic selves and just have an incredible life. And there is a beautiful example of this combination, faith and fierceness, in the Bible that we're going to share in the follow up episode right after this. It's going to be a devotional, and this part of our podcast is called She's Gotta Have Jesus, where we share stories from the Bible that directly connect with our content. So go check that out right after this and get some truth.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you in the next
See you
episode.
soon.